This is part one of a two-part series on working with new PW invoice forms. In part one, we cover how to choose your form. In part two, we'll go over how to set options for the form once you've chosen it. This is an introduction to 3 new invoice forms and 1 new slip form now available in PartsWatch. These new forms offer the ability to choose whether to print certain fields on the invoice or not. I'll be showing you each of the forms to help you decide which form you might choose, and then we'll walk through all of the options available for each of the forms. The 4 new forms are the PartsWatch half-page invoice form, which I have up right now, the PartsWatch 2/3 page invoice logo left form, the PartsWatch full invoice form, and the PartsWatch slip. As with all other invoice forms, these forms print on white 8.5 by 11 paper, except for the slip form, which of course prints to a slip printer. The form I'm showing you now is the PartsWatch half-page invoice form. It prints up to 9 items per page, so is ideal for stores that typically just invoice a few items at a time. It prints the customer copy at the top of the page and the store copy at the bottom of the page. You can purchase perforated paper at any office supply store to make it easy to tear the form in half. Let's zoom in for a better look. So looking at just the top of the form, you can see your logo will print at the top left. Your store name, address, phone number, and email address will print at the top center. The invoice header information, such as invoice number, invoice dates, reference number, seller name, will print at the top right. And then your ship to and bill to addresses print in the center, followed by all your items and totals. So this is the customer copy, and at the bottom is my store copy. They're both the same, except that the store copy says store copy on it and allows a place to write a signature. All of the forms at the bottom will show you the form number. So if you ever have a question about the form, you're able to identify it when you call our support team. Now I'm going to show you the 2/3 page form. This form prints up to 14 items. It's unique in that the top 2/3 of the sheet is for the customer and shows all of the items on the invoice, but the bottom of the form is for the store and only prints summary information. If you notice, I don't have any part numbers showing in this lower part. This is also an 8.5 by 11 sheet, but the perforation is 2/3 down the page. What's nice about this form is it uses the same amount of paper as the half-page form, that is 1 sheet of paper, but it fits 5 more items. If the store ever does need to see the detail that's not shown on their copy, they can always use Invoice Image to look up, view, or reprint the entire invoice. Again, I'll zoom in for a better look here. So we can see our top 2/3. This would be your logo, your store contact information, bill to and ship to, your header information, and then your items, of course, and your totals. And then this here is the store copy, which is, again, just summary information. Okay, and now we'll go to the full page invoice form. This form prints up to 46 items, so it's ideal for a distribution center or a hub store that tends to print invoices with a large number of items. It will always use 2 sheets of paper as it requires a full page for the customer copy and a full page for the store copy. So this at the top is my customer copy, and at the bottom is my store copy. Again, like the half-page form, the 2 pages are identical except that the store copy will say store copy and has a place for a signature. And again, I'll zoom in. So at the top, we have our logo at the left, and then again, your store contact information in the center, your header information over on the right. It's really very similar to the half page form, it's just longer. So we have our bill to and ship to here, our items and our totals, and then the same for the store copy. So I'm just going to flip back to the half page so you can see how similar they are. It's really the same form, only shorter. By the way, the number of items I've been telling you about that are available for each form, that's just the number of items per page. Any of these forms can be printed on multiple pages if you exceed that number of items. The last form I'm going to show you is the Parts Watch slip form. This form prints to a slip printer, and therefore it allows an unlimited number of items. It's the most efficient option in terms of amount of paper used, as you can see. My sample doesn't have a logo, but you can print your logo on this form. The slip form is typically used for cash sales, but can also be used for charge sales. So I have my contact information at the top, and then my header information, my customers information, and then all of my items and my totals. Any different forms of tender you took would be shown at the bottom of the invoice and broken out. So again, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. And that's our slip form. Thank you for watching part 1. Please proceed to our next video, PW Invoice Forms Part 2, Setting Your Form Options.